Title: From Granicus to Hydaspes. Alexander's Major Battles. Alexander the Great's military campaigns spanned 10 years and thousands of miles, from the plains of Asia Minor to the banks of the Hydaspes River in India. His major battles, each showcasing his tactical brilliance and ambition, solidified his reputation as one of history's greatest military leaders. These key confrontations not only exemplified Alexander's use of strategy, discipline, and fearlessness, but also brought vast territories under his control, reshaping the ancient world. Here is an exploration of Alexander's most significant battles, from Granicus to Hydaspes. 1. The Battle of Granicus, 334 BCE. Setting the stage for conquest. The Battle of Granicus marked Alexander's first major clash with the Persian Empire after he crossed into Asia Minor in 334 BCE. Facing a Persian force stationed along the Granicus River, Alexander's army was significantly outnumbered, but the young king was determined to begin his campaign with a decisive victory. The Persian army included Greek mercenaries, cavalry, and local infantry, making the encounter a true test of Alexander's leadership. Key tactics. Alexander took a bold and risky approach by crossing the river directly under enemy fire. The Persian forces had hoped the river's currents and slippery banks would disrupt the Macedonian phalanx, but Alexander led his cavalry across first to draw Persian attention. Once the Persians were engaged with his cavalry, he followed with a coordinated assault from his infantry. Alexander's personal leadership played a significant role. He led from the front, even coming close to death when a Persian officer nearly struck him down. His companion cavalry intervened, saving him, and Alexander personally killed several enemy leaders, demoralizing the Persian troops. Outcome. The victory at Granicus opened Asia Minor to Macedonian control, proving Alexander's tactical prowess and inspiring loyalty among his troops. With this initial success, he liberated Greek cities along the Ionian coast, securing resources and manpower for his growing campaign. 2. The Battle of Issus, 333 BCE. Turning the tide against Darius III. The Battle of Issus was Alexander's first direct confrontation with King Darius III of Persia. It took place near a narrow coastal pass in southern Anatolia, a terrain that limited Darius's numerical advantage. The Persian army vastly outnumbered Alexander's forces, but the confined geography played into the Macedonian king's hands. Key tactics. Alexander positioned his phalanx in the center with cavalry on both flanks, creating a unified front. Darius deployed his forces with archers, infantry, and his elite Persian cavalry in a formation that extended across the width of the battlefield. When the battle began, Alexander launched a diagonal charge with his companion cavalry, forcing the Persian left flank to overstretch and creating a gap in their lines. Spotting this gap, Alexander directed his phalanx to press forward, locking the Persian infantry in place. He then led his cavalry on a daring charge straight toward Darius himself. Facing the sudden threat to his life, Darius panicked and fled, leaving his army leaderless. Outcome. The Macedonian victory at Issus shattered Persian morale and demonstrated Alexander's ability to outwit and intimidate even the mightiest kings. Darius's retreat left behind his family, who were captured and treated with respect by Alexander, further enhancing his reputation. This victory gave Alexander control over key Persian territories and left Darius struggling to regroup. 3. The Siege of Tyre, 332 BCE. Breaking the unbreakable city. The Siege of Tyre was one of Alexander's most challenging military undertakings. Tyre, an island city with formidable defenses and a strategic location along the Mediterranean coast, refused to surrender. The city's walls and its separation from the mainland made a traditional siege nearly impossible. Key tactics. Instead of giving up, Alexander ordered his engineers to construct a massive causeway to bridge the gap between the mainland and the island. This engineering feat took 7 months and required constant battles against Tyrian forces who launched naval attacks and set fires to the construction. Alexander responded by using catapults and siege towers to return fire and protect his workers. Once the causeway reached Tyre, Alexander launched a full-scale assault with his navy and infantry. The Macedonian army eventually breached the walls, and Tyre fell after fierce street fighting. Outcome: the capture of Tyre demonstrated Alexander's resolve, engineering capabilities, and strategic patience. With Tyre under his control, Alexander secured his supply lines and dominance over the eastern Mediterranean coast, paving the way for his next conquest, Egypt. 4. The Battle of Gaugamela, 331 BCE, the decisive victory against Persia. The Battle of Gaugamela is often considered Alexander's most important victory. Facing an enormous Persian army led by Darius III, Alexander met his foe on the open plains near modern-day Iraq. Darius had amassed a colossal force, including war chariots with scythed wheels, archers, and cavalry, intending to overwhelm Alexander with sheer numbers. Key tactics: Alexander deployed his forces in a wedge formation, with the phalanx in the center and the companion cavalry on the right flank. As the battle commenced, Alexander led a diagonal advance to the right, forcing Darius's forces to shift and overextend their line to keep up with the movement. The tactic created a gap in the Persian formation, which Alexander exploited with a decisive charge aimed directly at Darius's position. As Alexander's forces broke through, Darius fled once again, leading to a collapse in Persian morale and a Macedonian rout of the remaining Persian forces. Outcome: Gaugamela was the decisive victory that led to the fall of the Persian Empire. With Darius defeated and in retreat, Alexander was able to capture the Persian capitals, including Babylon, Susa, and Persepolis. This victory marked the end of Persian dominance and confirmed Alexander as the ruler of Asia. 5. The Battle of the Persian Gates, 330 BCE, Alexander's passage into Persia's heartland. After Gaugamela, Alexander pursued Darius into the heart of Persia. The Battle of the Persian Gates was a winter battle against a Persian satrap named Ariobarzanes, who held a strategically vital mountain pass. The Persians had fortified the pass and used their knowledge of the terrain to ambush Alexander's forces in the narrow space, causing significant casualties. Key tactics: initially caught off guard, Alexander regrouped and launched a counteroffensive. He sent a contingent of troops to scale the cliffs and launch a surprise attack from behind. By attacking from multiple directions, Alexander's forces overcame the Persian defenses, securing the pass and opening the way to Persepolis. Outcome: the battle showcased Alexander's resilience and adaptability, as he managed to overcome an ambush that could have halted his campaign. With the Persian gates breached, Alexander entered Persepolis, the ceremonial heart of the Persian Empire, where he looted and later burned the city as a symbolic end to Persian rule. 6. The Battle of the Hydaspes, 326 BCE, the easternmost campaign and Alexander's encounter with India. The Battle of the Hydaspes was Alexander's last major battle and took place in present-day Pakistan against King Porus, who ruled the region. Porus's army included war elephants, which presented a new and terrifying challenge for Alexander's forces. The battle was fought near the Hydaspes River, where Alexander used his experience and ingenuity to confront a unique enemy. Key tactics: Alexander used the cover of night and a thunderstorm to move his forces across the river, upstream from Porus's encampment. By the time Porus realized Alexander's movements, the Macedonian army had crossed the river and was ready for battle. Alexander positioned his phalanx against Porus's elephants, using disciplined formations to blunt their impact, while his cavalry targeted Porus's flanks. The Macedonian soldiers attacked the elephants with javelins and concentrated pressure, eventually turning the animals back onto the Indian forces. Alexander's tactics neutralized the elephants, and after a hard-fought struggle, Porus surrendered. Outcome: Alexander was deeply impressed by Porus's bravery and allowed him to retain his kingdom as a vassal, appointing him as an ally. The Battle of the Hydaspes marked the easternmost point of Alexander's campaigns, but it also revealed the toll that years of fighting had taken on his soldiers. Exhausted and longing for home, they refused to march further east, leading Alexander to turn back. Conclusion: from conquest to legacy. From the Granicus River to the Hydaspes, Alexander's battles reveal a complex blend of courage, innovation, and strategic brilliance. Each battle demonstrated Alexander's ability to adapt to new challenges, exploit enemy weaknesses, and lead his men with unwavering confidence. His tactical innovations, such as the use of combined arms, feigned retreats, and surprise attacks, allowed him to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds and forge an empire that stretched across 3 continents. While Alexander's empire fragmented soon after his death, the legacy of his campaigns endured. His military tactics influenced future generations of generals, from Hannibal to Caesar and beyond, while the cities he founded spread Greek culture and ideas far and wide. Alexander's major battles were not just moments of military achievement but turning points that reshaped the ancient world, leaving